think you have kids?
I'm not having kids.
What you mean you're not having kids?
I'm not having kids.
That's what you was born here to do.
No, I'm not.
Why would you not want to have kids?
Why would I?
I'm asking you.
Why don't I want to have kids? I don't see any benefit.
For giving somebody life?
You have a kid and your life becomes about the kid. I want my life to be about me.
Oh, you selfish.
That's okay. Kids are annoying.
What?
Oh my God. Like, what is wrong with this generation? God. You know, this video is actually something that I feel like I've been trying my best not to talk about this, but I think it's about time I just say what is on my mind. Is this a woke thing, or I don't get it? Because there was a time not long ago, and it's still going around, where people are saying, or ladies are saying, oh, I don't want a man, I don't need a man, all I need is to have my own money, all I need is to be a boss bitch, all I need is to do my own thing and stuff like that. And I used to wonder that okay, why would you not need a man? Not in the sense of like a man is, if you don't have a man, you can't breathe. Not in that sense. We all need each other. The way the life is created, we did not create ourselves. The higher power that created us, that puts us on this planet for whatever reason, biology or whatever your belief system is. But I am a Christian and I will say God. The God that put us on this planet, he kind of fashioned the whole thing to say you are, or you need another human being in your life. So basically it could be your children, it could be your spouse, and there's a different feeling you have when you are with your children, and a different feeling that you have when you are with somebody that you have a relationship with. So on this particular video, we're going to talking about the male and female aspect of relationship. So there's a different kind of feeling that you have when you are with a man, and people say things they don't even understand. You understand what I'm saying? You are like, what, 25? You are like, what, 22, saying you don't need a man? You understand what I'm saying? And there are women who are in their 30s who have been wounded and who have gone through stuff in life, which I do not blame them, because we all have gone through stuff. You understand me? And there are people who have, and there are still people who have hope to say, I'm going to find the right one for me. And there are people who just gave up and say, no, I don't need a man anymore in my life. I've been married before. I've had kids. I've been through one abusive relationship to another. And I just feel like this thing is not for me. And which is okay. You understand? But it baffles me where you see young girls who have not been through anything in life, who don't even understand life like they should understand life, and they are picking it up and saying, no, I don't need a man, I don't care about a man. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's talk about the fact that ladies now are saying that they don't need children. It's like a trend on the internet where everyone is saying, no, I don't need children. Imagine this young lady. What does she know? I'm not trying to like bash her, but I think she's too young to be saying, I don't need a child. Children are annoying. Where is that coming from? Is this actually coming from the pit of hell? Because I do not understand how somebody would say they do not want children. Now, listen, before you get on my neck, I know it's your decision. I know it's your choice. You understand me? But before you make that decision, I want you to sit down and really ask yourself, where is this coming from? Am I picking this up from social media, or this is really me? Because I'll tell you this, there was a point in my life here when I was in my 20s. You know, I was immersing myself. I think social media just came out, and I was like everyone else immersing myself in social media. And I actually picked up this thing where I used to say for the longest time, I do not want to get married. I do not want to get married. And I think that was one of the things that blocked my path for a very long time in finding someone that actually loved me. You understand me? I just felt like I didn't want a man. All I wanted was a casual relationship. And I think I was reading it around books, and it was just something that got into me because it wasn't really me. It was something I was picking up from other people. unknowingly. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that is what is going on here, where modern women now are saying they don't want children. They've never given birth. And they're like, oh yeah, but I have my cousins. Oh yeah, but I have my niece. No, your niece is not your child. Your nephew is not your son. And it's so... You know what I'm saying here? Listen, I'm going to tell you this from experience here. 90% of the time, people who say these things, and if you are watching this video and you have said these things, that you don't want children, you don't care, children are annoying, and you've not sat down to properly ask yourself if this is you or you're picking it up from somewhere unknowingly. And I'll tell you this, you might regret it. Now, if you feel like you don't want children, I'm not going to convince you to have children because I'm not going to help you look after them, of course. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you this. Go to a care home. We call it care home in the UK. Go to a care home where the elderly people live. You understand what I'm saying? Even though you don't work there, maybe get a part-time job, and work with these people, support them. It will give you an understanding of life, at a certain stage, and you will see the importance and understand the importance of family. Now, I'll tell you a few things. First, in care homes, even generally in care, where you even younger adults and stuff like that, but let's focus like elderly people, old people, the ones that do not have family, that do not have anybody that advocate for them, maybe just the social worker that care for them, which is basically not a person-centered kind of care because they are not related by blood. They care less for them. You understand what I'm saying? They are taken care of. They don't really receive the maximum care that they deserve. Unlike the ones that do have family, that do have children, that have sisters, that have people that stand up for their care, that comes to check on how things are done for them. Basically, most of the time is their children that does these things for them. And those ones, the care home knows not to mess with them. That they take their time to make sure everything is on point. Now, that being said, I'll tell you a short story quickly. There was a time in my life where I did a living care. Then I think I did this job for about 2 years. And then I was like, let me live with elderly people. At least then I wouldn't pay rent and stuff like that. Like I said, I was just dabbling life. So I did that job, I think, for about 2 years. And there was this particular woman I lived with. For privacy's sake, we'll call her Jane. So I lived with Jane, I think, for about 3 months or so, because then I could go straight for a month. I'll stay with her. But when I got to the house, the first day I went there, the carer I met in that house, she was like, oh Jane, she's so difficult. I promise you maybe to live in this house. I was like, okay, it's fine. You understand me? I had no expectations. So I said, okay, it's fine. So I went there, and truly speaking, she was a difficult woman. But one thing we shared the same birthday. So we would talk. She's a very beautiful woman. She lives in this little cottage by herself. She doesn't have children. Her husband has been dead a while ago. I think a long time. I'm not sure. But she just lived by herself. She has a sister. You understand? And every once in 2 weeks, her niece, she does come over to just see her. She comes with her husband to see her, and the part where I'm going is she looks forward to that visit from the niece. You understand me? Because now she's a frail little old woman, and this particular day, her niece was supposed to come in. She didn't, so she called to cancel. And Jane was so angry. She was like, oh, she promised me she was going to come. She was so angry. She was giving me problem in the house. She was going on and on and on and on and on. So I had to go there. I had to. So I asked Jane. I said, but Jane, why did you not give birth to your own children? And she was like, I and my husband, we just felt like we didn't need to. I said, was there a medical issue? She was like, no. I said, so what is it really? She was like, we just felt like we did not need children. Children was going to stop us from living our life to the fullest. We wanted to travel, and we traveled, and we did all that. And I was like, now you are old Your husband is obviously dead. He's gone to rest. Now he's left you by yourself. You have no one, and you are angry that your niece has cancelled. Because the time you were using to travel, your sister took that time to have to give birth to a child, and now you are pissed off that our child, our own fruit of labor, is not coming to see you. As in, make it make sense. And she was quiet. She couldn't say anything. And I learned something that day, and I've carried that. And that was like, how many years ago? I was like more than 9 years ago. And I've carried that in my mind ever since. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what I'm telling you today. Before you sit down to make this decision to say you do not want children, they are annoying. You have to sit down, like I said, take a part-time job in a care home and see what it is to be old and dependent on other people. And on top of that, you do not have your own blood, you understand, to advocate for you, to love you, to come check on you. Because the older you get, there's a different level of loneliness. You know, there's this video I made when I talked about me being single in my 30s, not having someone. I'm going to put the video here. This is the video actually where I talked about being single. I didn't have anyone. I felt so lonely and stuff like that. There were people who criticized that video, but I'm going to tell you something now. When you are in your 20s and you do not have a boyfriend and you are single, you are kind of fine, because then you will have friends, you will have people around you. And most people who criticize that video, there are people who have family and friends around them. You understand what I'm saying? But there were people who understood where I was coming from. And those were people who knew that, or who knows that when you are in your 30s, your circle of friends just dry up. Your pool of people around you, they just dry up. And if you're an immigrant like me, living in a strange country where you have no family, where friends is just, there's no deep connections of friendships. You understand what I'm saying? If you have one friend in your 30s, you are lucky. You understand what I'm saying? If you have one true friend, you are lucky. And when you're in that place where you do not have anyone, it's just you, and there's this different level of loneliness that comes with it. You understand what I'm saying? You start craving, you start wanting that human connection. And it's not just a woman. You start wanting that man connection, that love connection with somebody that you could do things with, somebody you could live life with, somebody you could build memories with. You understand what I'm saying? And if you were like me, who wants family, who wants children, the craving becomes double. Then you start, the things that you think you did not need, or the things you never thought you needed in your 20s, you just automatically start feeling like you need them. You can't help it. It's just the way the world is created. It's a feeling you cannot even explain. There are people who don't experience that. I'm not saying everyone does, but most people does. And when you get to your 80s, 70s, that is another level of loneliness. And now you would say, oh, but you're not in your 80s. How would you know? I would tell you how I knew this particular age. You see, my man, he has a friend, an older gentleman who is his friend, he's in his 60s. He lives by himself. He was married before and is divorced now. He lives by himself. He is so lonely. He works. You understand what I'm saying? He works, but he lives by himself. And he will call my man like, can you come over? You understand me? Come see me. And if my man, for whatever reason, when he's free, he does go to see this uncle. He will cook all kind of dishes. He will talk and gist. He wouldn't want him to go because he is lonely. And my man was like, he told him one day, why don't you get somebody to stay with you? Get a woman. This lonely life, you have to. You understand? It is better to have somebody sometimes to quarrel with, to argue with in the house. You understand me? But instead of you just living by yourself. You see what I'm saying? So where I'm going is this. Before you make this kind of decision, make sure you are not picking this from social media. Make sure you are not picking this from other people. You understand me? And get a part-time job in a care home. You understand me? Because life you are living, money, hustling, traveling the world, they will all pass. And the things that truly matter in life, you understand me, apart from the experiences that we've had in traveling, going places, meeting people and that, you understand me, is family connection. And when you do not have that at that age, you begin to regret it. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine you being in a care home, you understand, and because don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong in a care home. It's when you do not have money that you stay in a shitty care home where they don't take care of you properly. You understand? If you ask me, I'll say if you have a good financial backup, you have money, your children, your family, they have money. I think if for whatever reason you don't want to live in your, you can't stay in your house, but if you don't want to, there are really nice, pricey, like care homes you can live where you have older people like you there. You understand what I'm saying? Where you guys can chill and just do you, have your kind of, your thing going. If you don't want to like bother your family, your children living in their house, you could do that as well. You understand what I'm saying? But if you walk in that kind of environment, you will understand another level of life. You understand? That will make you. But if you do that and you do this part-time job and you still feel like you do not want children, then I do not blame you. But do not make this decision without doing this, working a part-time job and supporting older people and speaking to them about their experiences of life and stuff like that. You understand me? Before you make this decision, because you might as well, I tell you this, you might regret it. Anyway, my darlings, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.